I'll let you work on that for me.
I can do that.
Okay, open up your notebooks, and at the top I want you to write decimals. There's three different ways that we're going to be writing decimals, different forms or different types of notation as they're called. Okay? If you see the word notation, that just means a different form. Okay? The first one is word form. Now, if we have a decimal, we break it into 4 parts. You're going to read the number to the left of the decimal. You're going to say and in place of the decimal, you're then going to read the number to the right of the decimal. And then finally, you're going to name the place value of the last digit. Bless you. So, if we have this number, the first part is we're going to read the number to the left of the decimal. That is 26. The next part we're going to do is we're going to say the and in place of the decimal. The third part, we're going to read the number to the right of the decimal. And that would be 15. And then the final thing is we're going to name the place value of the last digit. That 5 is in the 100th place. So when we read that number, it would be 26 and 1500ths. If we had this one, the first thing we'd read is 30. Second part, third part,
You read the numbers to the right of it.
which would be
15.
15. It's just the number 15. Even though there's a 0 in front of it, it's still 15. And now we said the place value of the last digit. The place value of the last digit would be what, Shayna?
1,000.
And so that is word form. Sorry about that. Next, we're going to have expanded form. Or expanded notation, means the same thing. Now, there's a couple ways you're going to see expanded notation or expanded form. All we're doing with expanded form is we're telling the value of each individual digit. Thank you. I was hoping somebody else would show me that during more. Okay, so let's get back to our problem, our number we had back here. 26 and 1500. We start at the largest place value. Okay? And the digits in largest place value is the 2. Now, there's two different ways, or a couple different ways we can show the value of each digit. One way that you're going to see this would be by simply telling the value of it. The 2 is in what place value? 10. So the value of the 2 would be how much? 20. And then we put a plus. Now the next digit is the 6. The 6 is in what place value?
1.
And so the value of the 6 would be?
6.
Just simply 6. The next digit is the 1. It is in what place value? Owen?
Tell me about the decimal.
Shayna?
10.
The 10th. Okay, the 1 is in the 10th place, and so the value of the 1 would be, Shayna? 1/10. And then the next digit is the 5. The 5 is in what place value, Declan?
The 10.
Not the 10th,
100.
the 100th. So the value of the 5 would be? The value of the 5 would be? Evan?
500.
500. Now, when we do it like this, the easy thing is simply to make sure that the 2, when we put it, the value of it, is two places from the decimal. 2 places from the decimal, 2 places from the decimal. The 6 is right beside the decimal. The 6 would be right beside the decimal. The 1 is 1 place to the right of the decimal. The 1 is 1 place to the right of the decimal. The 5 is 2 places to the right of the decimal. And the 5 is 2 places to the right of the decimal. That's the easiest way to do it. To think about it like that. Now, you may see this number written in a different way in expanded form. They may do it like this. They may take the digit times its place value. Since the 2 is in the 10th place, 2 times 10. Because 2 times 10 is 20. The 6 is in the 1's place, so you take 6 times 1. The 1 is in the 10th place, so you take 1 times its place value, 1/10. And then the 5 is in the hundredth place, so you take 5 times its place value, 100. Now, a third way that you may see it, the first ones will be the same, 2 times 10, 6 times 1, but they may, instead of putting it as a decimal, they may put the place values as a fraction. So 1 times 1/10 plus 5 times 100. They may show you like that. Now, if we go to the second number we add here, $315,000. The first digit, the value of the first digit is how much? 30. So we could put 30. Now, the next digit is a 0. You can do it like this. Plus 0. And then the next digit is a 0 once again. And so you may see it done like that. And then the next digit is the 1. The 1 is in the hundredth place, so plus 100. And then the 5 is in the thousandth place, or 3 places to the right of the decimal. And so we make sure that the 5 is 3 places to the right of the decimal. You may see it done like that. However, sometimes you might see that they don't put these zeros there. And so you may see it at times like this. 30 plus 100 plus 5,000. When you see it like this, you know that this 3 is in the tenth place because it's 2 places to the left of the decimal. This 1 is in the hundredth place because it's 2 places to the right of the decimal. Well, if we have this, we can't just leave the ones place and the tenth place blank, and so you would know that this is in the tens and this is in the hundredth, that we have to have a 0 in the ones place and a 0 in the tenth place. Make sense? And so that is expanded form. And then finally we have standard form. Or once again, standard notation. And that's just simply the way we're used to seeing numbers written. If we have $46,000 and $26,000. When we put it into standard form, we're going to go backwards. Just like we did it here, we're going to read to the and, because the and represents what? The decimal. So, we're going to write 46. We have the word and, so we know that's where the decimal goes. Then we have 27. So we know that that 27 goes to the right of the decimal. Now the last thing is the thousands. What does that mean? That means that the 7, the last digit, must be in the thousandth place. So now, where do we put the 0 when you said to put a 0? If we put a 0 here, what is that number? 270. Is that what we want? No. So we don't want to put the 0 behind it. Where do we want to put the 0? Alyssa? Between the 2 and the decimal. That way we still have our 27 and we go to the thousandth place. Okay? Questions about that? You may also have something like this where we have and they ask you to write that in standard form. Well, what is the first digit we're going to write? Right? What's the first digit we're going to write? Excuse me? Declan?
500.
Not 500. The first digit we're going to write is the 5. What place value is that 5 going to go in? Declan? What place value is the 5 going in? It's going to go in the hundredths place. What's the next digit we're going to write, Aiden?
6.
What place value is the 6 going in?
10. 1.
The 6 is going into the 1 because the value is simply 6. So what place value did we skip?
10.
The 10s. So what goes into 10's place?
0.
A 0. Because the 6 has to be in the 1s and that 5 is in the hundredths, we know that there has to be a 0 in the 10's place. Now the next digit we're going to write is the 4. What place value is the 4 in, Dakota?
No,
The 100th. What place value do we skip? So what's going to go into 10th place?
0.
A 0. And then the 4 is going to go in the 100th place. And then the last digit we're going to write is the, Owen?
1000.
What's the digit? The 9. What place value is the 9 going to go in? Declan. This is the 10th, 100th, 1,000, 10,000. Okay? Easier way to figure out? It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right of the decimal. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right of the decimal. And so there, we have taken a number that was in expanded form and written it in standard form. Okay? Any questions? Now, the last thing I want to talk about real quick is rounding decimals. If we have that number, first of all, read that number for me. Steph.
26,994,000.
Okay. When rounding decimals, we must make sure that we know our place values. Okay? We start naming our place values from the decimal. First place is the 1s, 10s, 100s, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, millions, 10 million, 100 million, billions, 10 billion, 100 billion, trillions, 10 trillion, 100 trillion, quadrillions, 10 quadrillions, 100 quadrillions, quintillions, 10 quintillions, 100 quintillions, centillions, 10 centillions, 100 centillions. Keeps on going. Okay? To the right, the first place value is the 10, 100, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, trillion, 10 trillion, 100 trillion, and so on. Okay? The only place value we're skipping to the right, we don't have a 1. Okay, we go straight to the 10. Now, if we're going to round this digit to the 10th, if we round to the 10th, we're going to look at what place value? Declan? What place value? The 100. Now that 9 tells us to do what? Round up. So this 3 is going to become a 4. And so if we round this number to the nearest 10, it is what? To the nearest 10.
Oh, 20.
Aiden.
You want the whole number?
Yeah.
26 and 400,000.
Or just simply 4/10, because we can get rid of those zeros because they don't change the place value of the other digits. If we have the same number and we're going to round it to the nearest 100, what's in the 100th place? What's in the 100th place? Landon?
9.
We look to the,
Right.
so we're going to look at the, tells us to do what?
Round down.
Stay the same. So what's this going to round to the nearest 100th?
300.
Autumn?
3,900.
Aiden?
26 and 300. 300.
How about simply 3,900? What?
I thought that's what I said.
No, you just said
I thought
30.
I said,
You just said the 26.
oh my
Can't get rid of the whole number there.
gosh. Yeah.
If we have this, and we run around to the nearest ones, what's in the ones place? Owen. What's in the ones place?
6.
So we're going to look at the,
2. 3.
you always look to the place, to the right one place. What does the 3 tell us to do?
Keep it the same.
Stay the same. And so this is going to round to,
26.
we can just leave it as 26. We don't need to put the decimal and the zeros. We can get rid of that. That doesn't change the place value of the other digits. Okay? Question about that? So, we have word form, we have expanded form, we have standard form, and we have rounding the decimals. Anybody have any questions? Okay, your homework.
I have to go to my dad's work. For some reason, I don't know why.
Now,
Pick up all the card codes from every main card in the world. Think of all the scores. Each card has a number. Oh wait, each card has 2 numbers.
okay, it looks like a lot, and it really isn't a whole lot. You're going to have 12, 14, 19, 21 through 24, all of them. So 21, 22, 23, 24. And then you're going to have 26 to 32 to even. So that means 26, 28, 30, and 32. And then you have 46 and 47, all on page 16.
Who the heck is my book?
Okay? Go ahead, you have 25 minutes, should be plenty of time to get this finished.